Have you ever been doom scrolling and suddenly felt like you're the only person on earth who checks their bank account before buying coffee? Like, everyone else is out here living their soft life, posting beach trips, new cars, and $300 dinners like it's nothing, and you're standing there debating whether name brand cereal is a luxury or a personality trait. And yeah, it can make you wonder, am I the broke one? Did everybody else get a secret money manual and I missed the email? Or is there some magical cash tree growing in their backyard that nobody told me about? Here's the thing though. The truth is way more interesting than that. And honestly, it's a lot less personal than it feels. I'm Vanessa, and I break down money stuff without the boring finance bro energy. So, if you've ever looked around and thought, wait, why does everyone seem richer than me? Babe, you are so not crazy. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about the credit card situation. Because this one is doing a lot of heavy lifting in people's lives. A huge chunk of Americans are carrying credit card debt, and not just a little. We're talking about millions of people who can't pay their balances in full every month. And here's the part that gets me. A lot of them aren't even that stressed about it. They've kind of made peace with owing money forever. Like the card gets swiped, the purchase feels good, and the consequences, those are for future them. Which is adorable, in a tragic way. Because future you is usually not some upgraded, money-rich superhero. Future you is still you, just with maybe a little more income and a lot more regret. And when you're dealing with credit card interest in the 20% to 30% range, that cute little treat yourself moment can turn into a very expensive mistake. Very fast. This is the whole live for today, let tomorrow figure it out mindset. People act like future them will just magically have more money, less responsibility, and stronger emotional resilience. That's not how any of this works. But credit card debt is only one piece of the puzzle. Let's say you've got that coworker who seems to afford everything on the same salary you make. Same office, same pay range, same LinkedIn humble brag energy. But somehow they're always booking trips, ordering the pricey lunch, and showing up with a new gadget every other month. What's going on there? Well, a lot of people have extra income streams now. Side hustles are incredibly common, and plenty of folks are making hundreds of dollars a month on the side. That's not nothing. That's real breathing room. And no, that money doesn't come from nowhere. While you're home actually resting after work, they're just naturally rich coworker might be driving for a rideshare app, freelancing on weekends, selling stuff online, or doing some weird little money-making project that eats their evenings. So, when they go out for sushi or take a weekend trip, just remember, they might be spending side hustle money, not salary money. That changes the whole vibe. People are way looser with money that feels separate. It's like finding cash in a jacket pocket, except instead of $20, it's a few $100s every month. And that creates a huge illusion. Because now you're comparing your one income stream to somebody else's 2 or 3, and of course they look like they're floating through life with a gold spoon and a perfect skincare routine. Then there's the fun little game I like to call financial whack-a-mole. You know the person who's always taking glamorous trips? Check their apartment. Maybe they're using the same old phone from 5 years ago, shopping at thrift stores, and wearing the same 4 outfits how long it does. Or the friend with the closet that looks like a luxury boutique. They might be eating leftovers for lunch 5 days a week and saying, "Not this month," every time you suggest dinner somewhere cute. Or the new homeowner with the gorgeous house. They could be living on peanut butter sandwiches because the mortgage ate their whole soul. That's the part people miss. We notice what somebody has, not what they gave up to get it. Our brains are so obsessed with the shiny stuff. New car? We see it. Designer bag? Yep. Fancy kitchen remodel? Oh, absolutely. But we don't see the 70-hour weeks, the skipped vacations, the miserable budget, or the stress they're quietly swallowing to keep the whole thing going. Most people are making trade-offs, just different ones. Some are house rich and cash poor. Some have a huge social life and a retirement account that looks like it's on life support. Some have a beautiful lifestyle and zero margin for error. They're all robbing Peter to pay Paul. They just pick different Peters and Pauls. And this is where it gets really spicy. Some of the people who look the most financially successful are actually hanging on by a thread. I mean, full-on financial theater. Curtain up, lights on, audience applauding, and behind the scenes, it's chaos. People feel this pressure to maintain a certain image, even if it means sacrificing real security. They'll spend money they don't have on things they don't need, just to impress people who probably aren't even paying that much attention. Like, babe, nobody at brunch is auditing your net worth. This is the fake it till you make it trap, except a lot of people never make it. They just keep faking in nicer shoes. And this isn't only happening to low-income people either. Some of the most polished lifestyles out there are funded by debt, family money, or spending habits that are one bad month away from falling apart. That luxury car, those designer fits, the constant treat-yourself energy, it might all be balancing on a financial Jenga tower. Social media makes it worse, obviously, because now we're all comparing our messy behind-the-scenes lives to everybody else's highlight reel. You're seeing the vacation photos, but not the months of saving, the debt, or the guilt after the trip. You're seeing the restaurant shots, but not the fact that they ate leftover rice and eggs for 6 days straight to afford it. Social media turned life into a carefully edited performance. People spend forever getting the right angle, the right lighting, the right caption, and then they crop out the part where they're sitting in a tiny apartment with a mattress on the floor. Very chic, very aspirational, very don't look too closely. But here's the plot twist most people never expect. The truly wealthy often do not look wealthy at all. Real wealth is usually quiet, boring even. It doesn't need fireworks. It doesn't need a logo on every surface of the body. It doesn't need a dramatic entrance. The people with actual money are often the ones in the plain sweater, driving the reliable car, and acting mildly confused by everyone else's obsession with looking rich. Because when you already have security, you don't need to cosplay as rich for validation. That's the fascinating paradox here. The people who look the richest are often the most financially fragile, and the people who are actually rich often look like they shop with a coupon app and a deep calm in their soul. And honestly, that makes sense. If you had serious money in the bank, would you be sprinting around trying to prove it with a handbag? Probably not. You'd be more focused on protecting it, growing it, and maybe not making yourself a target. A lot of showing off comes from insecurity, not abundance. Now let's talk about something people really don't like to admit. Everybody starts from a different place. And that starting point matters a lot more than people want to say out loud. Some people got help with college. Some got to move back home after graduation and save aggressively. Some had parents cover bills like insurance or rent. Others had to hustle through school, support themselves, and start adult life already behind. Some chose careers that were practical and steady. Others chased passion and landed in fields where the paycheck is, let's say, emotionally abusive. Some entered the job market when things were booming. Others graduated into a mess. Some bought homes when prices were reasonable. Others tried when the market was acting completely unhinged. So, from the outside, it looks like everyone is playing the same game. But they're not. Different starting lines, different rules, different levels of support, different timing. That person who seems to have it all together, they may have had a huge head start you never saw. And if that stings a little, I get it. But it also should be kind of freeing, because it means you can stop using somebody else's timeline as your measuring stick. Now, here's something that might actually make you feel better about your own situation. A massive number of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency. Not a typo. $1,000. That means a lot of people with decent jobs, nice clothes, and respectable lives are one car repair away from a full emotional collapse. So if money feels tight for you, trust me, You are not some lone financial failure drifting in space. The boat is crowded. And yes, some of those same people are the ones posting like they're living their best life. Fancy dinner pic, expensive cocktail, cute caption, and meanwhile their checking account is hanging on for dear life. It's financial Russian roulette with a better filter. So what actually separates people who build wealth from people who just look rich? It's not just income. Income matters, sure, but the bigger difference is how they think about money. Wealthy people treat money like a tool, not a trophy. They understand that every dollar saved and invested is like hiring a tiny employee that can keep working for them over time. At first, that little employee doesn't do much. Maybe it earns a few cents, a few dollars, whatever. But then those dollars start having babies in a very financial, very legal way. And eventually, you've got money making more money while you sleep. That's the dream. Most people do the opposite. They get paid, spend fast, and wonder why they never get ahead. They're basically firing their dollar employees the minute they hire them. Like, thanks for the shift, everyone. Go home. Then they're shocked their net worth isn't growing. And look, I get why spending is tempting. Buying something feels good right away. Your brain gets a little hit of pleasure, and for a minute, you feel upgraded, prettier, more successful, more in control. But saving and investing? That feels boring. Sometimes it even feels like deprivation, like you're saying no to yourself for no immediate reward. That's exactly why so many people struggle with wealth building. Human brains love instant gratification. Wealth building is delayed gratification with discipline, patience, and a little bit of delusion that future you will be grateful. Which, honestly, future you usually is. It's like trying to train a puppy not to eat the treat right in front of its face, because there's a bigger one later. The puppy doesn't care about later. And your brain, when it comes to money, is often just as dramatic. The gap between how we think money works and how it actually works is huge. A lot of people assume that if someone looks rich, they must be rich. They see the watch, the car, the clothes, the fancy dinner, and think, okay, yep, that person is doing great. But appearances are incredibly misleading. I knew someone once who looked like he was absolutely rolling in it. Nice car, flashy watch, always paying for everybody, always talking big. Everybody assumed he was loaded. Turns out he was basically moving debt around, like a circus performer. Different cards, different balances, different excuses. The whole thing was one giant house of cards, and his minimum payments were absurd. But he kept up the act because admitting the truth felt way too humiliating. And that kind of financial acting is way more common than people think. A lot of people are just method acting as successful adults, except the performance never ends, and the reviews are terrible. Now, let's get into one of the biggest invisible factors of all: family money. This one is huge, and people almost never talk about it honestly. Some folks have parents quietly covering bills. Not in some flashy rich kid way, just little things that add up. Car insurance, phone bills, health insurance, rent help, a down payment gift, whatever it is. And that can free up hundreds or even thousands of dollars a month. That's not a small edge. That's a massive advantage. Or maybe someone inherited money, not enough to buy a private jet or anything ridiculous, but enough to give them breathing room. Having an extra 20 grand, 30 grand or more sitting there changes the way you make every financial decision. It's like playing a game with cheat codes while everyone else is grinding on hard mode. The sneaky part is you usually don't see it. Nobody casually announces, "Oh, my parents are still helping with my insurance," or, "Yeah, I got a nice little gift for my house fund." So, from the outside, it looks like they're just amazing with money. But often, they're starting with help you didn't get. And that's why comparing your progress to theirs can mess with your head so badly. Now let's talk about the weird little lie we all tell ourselves: that spending money will make us happier and saving money will make us miserable. Cute theory. very expensive theory. Because research keeps showing that people who save tend to be less stressed and generally happier than people who spend every dollar they earn. Turns out financial security has a way of calming the nervous system. Who knew? Having money in the bank doesn't just make you richer. It can help you sleep better, argue less, and feel way less panicked about the future. But try telling that to someone who just got hit with a flashy ad for something they need right now. The advertising world is basically built to exploit our psychological weaknesses. They know how to create urgency, how to make normal life feel incomplete, and how to convince us that buying stuff is some kind of identity statement. Like, buy this bag and become the version of yourself you were always meant to be. Please, calm down. And social media takes that pressure and turns it into a competition. Now everyone's trying to one-up each other with vacations, outfits, home decor, restaurant pics, and all kinds of carefully staged lifestyle content. People are literally going into debt to keep up an image. Think about that. They're paying interest on things they bought to impress people who are probably busy taking their own fake casual photos. Wild. And sometimes the people posting the most expensive-looking content are the ones who are most financially stressed. Because once you start performing wealth, it gets harder and harder to stop. You've built an identity around the image, and now the image owns you. Meanwhile, people who are actually doing fine financially often downplay it because they don't want the weird social baggage that comes with being the rich one in the group. So they keep it low-key. That creates this bizarre situation where everybody thinks everybody else is doing better than they are, which is honestly so human, it's almost funny. We're all in the same room pretending we understand the joke, and nobody wants to admit they're confused. So what do you do with all of this? You stop treating other people's highlight reels like a financial report. You stop assuming the car, the vacation, the clothes, or the dinner bill tells you anything meaningful about somebody's actual net worth. And you start focusing on real wealth. Real wealth is boring in the best way. It's an emergency fund. It's low debt. It's investing consistently. It's having options. It's not panicking every time your paycheck hits. It's building something that can hold you up when life gets messy. So the next time you're scrolling and thinking, wow, everybody got invited to the Millionaire Club except me, just remember, a lot of those people are probably checking their bank balance with the same little knot in their stomach. The difference is, they're better at hiding it. And you don't need to perform. You just need to build. Because real wealth beats fake wealth every single time. And it sleeps a lot better at night.